My name is Scott Dordick. My company is called Acratech, and we design and manufacture photographic equipment. We've been in business for probably 30 years. So we've been dealing with small business development on and off for a lot of years. I think initially we got involved with them to help us with automating our accounting and learning accounting software and stuff like that. But that's probably 20 years ago is the first time we probably were involved with small business development when we went to computerize our accounting. The photography industry was in a decline, and I think largely due to cell phones. And photography industry was doing really, really well. The technology is improving all the time, and every time a camera came out, someone wanted to get the new one because it was so much better than the last crop of cameras. You just had to get the new one. The resolution was better, colors were better. But then it got to the point where the cameras were all so good that people weren't buying new cameras, and there wasn't a lot of interest. So people were just kind of stagnant. Cell phones were getting better and better. And we started just looking at our sales numbers just over a period of years, and they were declining. And we'd go to the trade shows, and it was all doom and gloom. You'd talk to the people, and they're all talking about the good old days. And we'd all be sitting there at trade shows. Instead of talking to people walking by the booths, we were talking to each other because there weren't that many people walking around the shows. So the writing was on the wall that we needed to do something. We weren't sure what to do, so we talked to Malcolm. And his initial advice also was and we make everything here, which is a good thing, but our manufacturing costs are high. And when you look at it all together, it's like high manufacturing costs, sales are dropping. He suggests we talk with some other larger companies in the industry to what he was calling a strategic alliance. So no exact definition of what that meant, but let's just talk to some of the big players and see what they had to offer. We have some very unique products. When you look at our products compared to our competitors, almost anybody else in the industry, they look physically different. They just have features that I patented that nobody else has. So we have a lot going for our products that these other companies could be interested in. So the actual single largest player in the industry, we talked to them and they were interested. But the pandemic hit and they actually changed their mind. And we had another company that was also interested, another pretty large player in the industry, but they wanted to move all our manufacturing overseas. It's like, well, that doesn't work with my values. I'm really committed to keeping people working here. Everybody here is like family. We've had people who've been with us over 20 years. You can't really just say, oh, well, we farmed out all your work to someone in China. I can't do that. But it turns out it was for the best because, one advantage of working with the bigger companies, maybe I could have had a little less to do and maybe backed away from the business a little bit. I'm getting to a point where it's like, well, maybe I don't want to work quite as much. And, we partner with another company in some aspects that'll take a lot of my responsibilities off my plate. But when the pandemic hit, sitting home for 2 months, I realized, boy, I like that. Didn't think I liked working that hard. And then I realized I need that. I'm not the kind of person that can sit back and relax too much. I like to get to the point where I can maybe take a month off here and there to take a vacation, but outside of that, I need to come home and have the challenges of work. So I don't think in the long term I would have been as happy having another company involved where I didn't have as much to do. So that led to an interesting development though. I'm thinking we're sitting home because we're a non-essential business. And so I designed a product that was a foot-operated hand sanitizer pump. It seems like every time I put my hand under a hand sanitizer pump in a store, it doesn't work. The batteries are out or it's out of sanitizer because the containers are kind of small. So I designed one that had kind of a larger reservoir. It takes bulk sanitizer and no batteries. You just step on a foot pedal and it's a pump. So I figured, as long as I'm sitting home, I got time to design something. So I brought my computer home, my CAD system home, and I sat there in my living room designing this product. And as soon as we got back here, we didn't have that much going on, but we were still behind. So we put that into production. So we're an essential business at that point. Because of the pandemic, people had more time to explore their hobbies, and photography turned out to be a hobby that people wanted to do. So we actually got very busy. So the declining photography market kind of reversed and got much busier. So we're incredibly busy. We've been busy since, I say it took a little while after the shutdown for people to kind of realize and find photography. Within a few months, we were super busy. So we had the time initially afterwards to get the sanitizer pump into production, and we're about ready to market it now. We've just been so busy. It's like it's hard to start working on marketing a new product when you can't keep up with sales on an existing product. So he's been, really encouraging me to try to get the sanitizer pump out on the market, because it is just a whole new, different avenue of sales, different customer base. And, so I am moving forward on that. We actually, the only thing we hadn't done on the sanitizer pump parts was the final finishing, the powder coating, anodizing, but all the parts are machined and ready to go. So we were literally just sent the parts out last week for those processes, and we'll start on marketing. And there's another lady there, I believe her name is Louise, who does internet marketing and such. So we're about where we need to get with her to figure out a marketing plan for this. I talked to her briefly a while back ago, and very knowledgeable lady, and now we're ready to start implementing something. We put together a quick website, but now I think we're ready to put together a real website and move forward on it, because Malcolm and I are both concerned that there could be changes in the economy, and we have to be prepared for those. Before, a long time ago, we were job shop and just did machining for customers, and we entered the photography market, and from what we knew, it was always a growing market. We didn't expect it to decline. We weren't really looking to that point to see that, it's not always going to be like this, because we started out, we were making tripod heads, and basically, as a small business, what we could make, we could sell. So I thought, okay, it's always going to be like this. But then when it declined, like, oh man, we weren't paying enough attention to the writing on the wall. And so now we're really trying to plan looking forward in what potential slowdowns and things there are, so we don't hit any stumbling blocks. Our sales from going on a trend that was going downward is now on a trend going upwards. So that's all we can hope for. I think no matter who you meet with when you're discussing what you can do in a business, that's the bottom line is, if we see sales going in the right direction, moving in the right direction, I think that's the results everybody's looking for one way or another. We're a 10-person company. So we're up about one person, which doesn't seem significant, but then we have another person who's part-time. So about up 1.5 people, which doesn't seem significant. But the problem was before, we weren't using people to their capacity. But everyone's been with us for a long time, so I'm not going to lay somebody off. My philosophy for a long period of time is these people have dedicated a lot of their lives working here. It's my responsibility when we slow down to keep them working. So, machines weren't at capacity. We've added more equipment, and that has helped. So we've added some more automated machinery, which makes people's time more productive. And that's really helped us a lot. Actually, we wouldn't have been able to keep up without adding the faster equipment. There's CNC machines, which is computerized milling machines and turning machines, and it's just amazing to get machines that are high-speed machines. They can do something like a tool change. It'll be drilling a hole, then less than a second later, it's threading that hole. It changed its tool and threading that hole, and it happens so fast. You're like, I just saw that, but I'm not sure what I just saw. I see it's doing something different. I see it's got a different tool, but what just happened in front of my eyes there? I mean, it's literally that fast now on the newer machines. With the old machines, you'd sit there and watch it clunking away, and the machine would slowly clunk away to change tools, and this one is like in the blink of an eye. So between utilizing people's time better and having more efficient equipment, it's really helped a lot. We did get a loan from the government, and part of that was applied to the machinery. And that the question did come in whether we should use that loan for that or use a different loan. And we did use Malcolm's advice on that too. With all these machines, it's always scary when you buy them because they make you money if you keep them busy. And they eat you. The loans can eat you up if you don't keep them busy. But fortunately, since we've got them, we've been very busy, and I don't think they've had an idle day since we've got them. Well, yeah, we've been making good progress, and it's nice to have Malcolm there, who's somebody who's experienced in business, who I can bounce ideas off of it and discuss things with. He's also not part of the company. We're a family business, but when you discuss things with people here, they always have something to be gained or lost on the decisions made. So their opinion may be colored by, how it affects them personally. Whereas Malcolm has no, it doesn't affect him at all. So he can be very, very objective. So it really helps to have somebody who's not in the business to be able to ask things and discuss things with. Well, I just think there's so many decisions you need to make, and there's not always a clear, obvious answer to it. And being able to discuss it with somebody who has a lot of experience really helps you make those decisions. Even when you're talking about a machine, you're talking about, okay, $100,000 loan here. I mean, that's a big decision to make. And, you want to discuss that with somebody before you put yourself on the hook for that kind of money. And it helps to bounce that idea off somebody. You talk about, what are your sales and, what are your potential sales if you have additional machinery to fill orders, and you start to analyze the stuff, and it helps. Anytime we find somebody in small business and they mention they're having issues or problems, or, we always recommend you guys. And whatever the problem is, you guys seem to have somebody who knows that subject. And, so my colleagues in small businesses, I've recommended you guys to a lot of different people. So I think that you guys are a very valuable resource. And even better than that, you're free. And we have tried some paid consultants in the past. And, Malcolm is actually better and doesn't cost money. So you can't ask for more than that.